as we are getting into our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Magnatha, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic, the Brood War Protoss player. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Cure. Feeling okay, like, I'm dying. One moment, actually. Un momento. Okay, we're good. Whew. Okay, we are good to go. Here we go. For the time being, we do have our openers here. Looks like we didn't really miss anything. Double gas open at a Cure, going into a faster factory, and likewise Classic going for his own standard opener as well. So we are good to go. When it comes to the map itself, welcome to Magnatha. Magnatha is one of the larger maps, always the largest map of the map pool. Longest rush distance by ground, so we do have more space in between us. We can get into a more longer standard game state. Now, something that I should remind everyone, if you recall, we spoke about this at the start of the broadcast. Cure, he has been playing around with mech quite a bit. We saw mech against Zerg earlier, which was no surprise, but on top of that, we have seen Cure play a lot of mech against Protoss as well. It is very map dependent. On smaller maps, Cure, he does enjoy playing mech on Pylon, for example, and he also has embraced mech on some of these larger maps like Tokamak and like Magnatha as well. We'll be getting further into it if we do embrace mech here, but again, I'm not putting it off the table. For now, though, we do have our Adolsop here. It is going to be the early Cyclone and CC on the low ground. No Marauder. Reaver breaks out. Reaver does pull away. We're now Cure getting to zone 1-1-1. Getting to a setup. And we're expecting a Robo and a Bay, and we're expecting Reaver drops out of Classic. Is what we're expecting. If you recall, we were actually talking about this in Classic Series against Honmono, but Honmono's match was so fast that we never got there. It never really got there, really. The games were so short. There we go, there's the Robo, into Bay, into Reaver drop. Just to re-emphasize the kind of importance of this build, one of the reasons why it's so prevalent isn't because it keeps you safe, isn't because it allows you to harass, but also because it allows you to scout. Scouting is a little more difficult here for Brood War Protoss, just because there's no hallucination, just because there's no sentry, of course. So it's a good way to get across the map to get a read on the opener of the build, the production, the economy of your opponent, and harass at the same time. As the Cyclone does catch 2 workers, does pull away. And Cure, it looks like he is going into Hyperflight Rotors. This has been trendy as of late, going Hyperflight Rotors instead of Cloak, just so you can have more micro potential. Go in, get a couple of probe kills, pull away, pull back in, rotate between the bases, and deal insane harassing damage. Especially against Mass Dragoon, I feel like that has potential. But now Dragoons are poking at the front door. They knock down the initial bunker. The tank is in position though. He's going for the tank. Yeah, does go for the dive. He loses 1. 2 Dragoons. 2 Dragoons do go down. But Classic, he wants to overwhelm. And without a bunker, without a tank, he can. He can overwhelm. Takes over the natural. The Banshee is revealed. Ooh, going for the tank. One of the Dragoons getting very low. Dragoons getting low, tank does siege, and with that, Cure holds. Kira, he does hold on. The purpose here to tank a shot, but I feel like we can't really dive in. Oh, miss rally. Yeah, miss rally out of classic. But from here, he's containing. He does delay Kira's move out. Dragoons, they pick up a couple of Marines. Oh, as the Dragoon goes down. Bit of miscontrol from classic. Does get the bunker. And Kira just wants to move out. Just wants to move out. We have the Citadel on the way, so we're going into a Zealot composition follow-up. I was assuming it was going to be a Robo into Bay into Reaver drop. That is not the case. We're going to a Mass Gateway composition instead, going Mass Dragoon into Mass Zealot with Zealot legs. Let's go. And we'll see if he can keep up with Cure. The downside, of course, he knows about the Banshee, but he doesn't know if anything was being researched, and we'll see if he can keep up. Meanwhile, no surprise, Mech. Yeah, Mech is on the way. There's a reason why we brought it up at the start of the game. At the start of the series, even. So Cure is making it up. Again, if you've been watching Cure in StarCraft 2, you'll know that he does do this, like in regular StarCraft 2. He has been playing a lot of Mech. As I mentioned, it is more map dependent, which is why we brought up specifically Pylon, Maganatha, and Tokamak. Depending on the map, he is more prone to going to Mech. As it has been a little more meta ever since EWC, basically. Ever since EWC. So we are building up. And we're going to slow things down. Now, the Observer for Classic has yet to go in. If we can call Mech from Cure, then so can Classic, right? Classic, unlike Rumi at Classic, he is well versed in SE2 as well. He's been playing and competing against Cure over the past couple of months, so he knows what he's capable of. Has yet to confirm the production. And hasn't seen too much to confirm it is Mech. Banshees do move in. To the mineral line and getting 3 probe kills. Oh, so far, still not worth it here for Cure. Banshees are being chased down. And when it comes to a versus Mech composition, I do feel like you do want to go for this Mass Gateway style anyway. Mass Zealots, we have Dragoons, into ideally Storm, I feel. Like Storm and High Templar. Yeah, I've seen Storm pop off against Battle Mech before. But we'll see what Classic settles on. Well, speaking of, he has not researched Storm yet, but High Templar on the way. So he's building up Templar. He can morph in Archons at least. I'm hoping we haven't forgotten. Oh, no, it's queued up again. Storm is queued up after Kadar and Amulet. It's on the way. That's Curious setting up. Observer's seen enough. He's seen enough at this point, he knows. And Storm is going to be crucial here. And Classic, he doesn't want to engage yet. The tanks are sieged. Classic out of range of the tanks. He was away at the base. Classic going for the gold, okay. And we'll get into the mineral line. He's going for the CC. Can he get it? Oh, one more volley. One more volley. The CC does go down. The repairs are too late. Ay. That should not have happened. Cure was in position. He was here. The army was right next to the CC, but barely out of range with the tanks and didn't really respect the army enough. Ay. That should not have happened. And suddenly Cure down to 2 bases while playing Mech. He needs that 3rd. Meanwhile, something that I glossed over, but I should mention, you might be thinking to yourself, like, hold on. Were the gold bases, were the gold minerals always there? The answer is no. This is a unique feature here to Magnatha. This is the StarCraft Evolution version of Magnatha, so there are some slight adjustments to the map. There are some adjustments. Banshee speed before cloak? Yes, that's become more standard nowadays in StarCraft 2. Where you go Banshee speed not before cloak, you go Banshee speed instead of cloak. Storms are ready. But again, pushing into the siege line is not going to be easy. And we shouldn't. Yeah, classic, you should not move in. Banshees, they do hit across the map. These Banshees, they can do an amazing job when it comes to sniping high-tech units like High Templar. They're harassing, of course, as well. So one Banshee goes down. Army moves in. Pushing into the siege line. A storm, some of them do connect, but oh god, the tank boys are brutal and so many High Templar go down. That was not worth it. As a classic, he will lose every High Templar. He gave Cure what he wanted. Cure, he wanted Classic to push into him, and he did. Pushed into the tank line. So Classic, he will lose the army. We have attempted Sky Toss on the way. But Cure, he has gained momentum. He's moving out. He is moving out. Catching out the Dragoons. And he will break the expansion. That's going to be 12 probes falling. He will break the Nexus. And Curie has momentum. He has momentum. As he's pushing through and as he's breaking down the space, we do see Classic going for a counterattack. Trying to hit the third. I mean, the third is exposed. There's nothing here. Uh-oh. Deals are good, man. The Goon was trapped. Classic, he does rotate around. Does some counterattack. Tanks are on siege. Now's his time. Yeah, this time the tanks are on siege. Dragoons move in. High Templar, they're trying to get on top of this. The storms, they will land. Yeah, beautiful storms here. The tanks will fall. And Classic, he cleans up the army. He cleans up the army entirely here. And unlike Classic, Cure, that was an expensive army. He cannot replace it anywhere near as easily. Cure lost all the tanks, lost all the Cyclones. That was a brutal fight. And now everything swings heavily in favor of Classic. GG gets called. One and done there for Cure, and Classic will take game at number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, Cure, that was a very expensive army that he had, and once he lost it, he had nothing left. He had nothing left. Again, it takes so long to rebuild a mech army. One bad fight, and that can cost you the game. GG. GG, well played. It also helped as well that Cure had no 4th CC either, so he had no economy to sustain himself. That specifically came down to the fact that he lost his 3rd base earlier. Remember, because he lost his 3rd, that meant that his 4th and the rest of his economy was also delayed, so he was much more committed, much more all-in than he otherwise needed to be. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Very intense game 1, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. For the first time tonight, we're going to be loading into Blue Storm. Beautiful. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Broodwar Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Cure. Here we go, and once again, I'm really curious to see how he does handle himself with Broodwar Terran. I do favor Classic coming into this, coming into the series in general here, but we'll see, because Cure, he was able to pop off against Rumiath earlier, it was very impressive. We'll see if he can do so here as well. I mean, part of that game against Rumiath was also Rumiath's response and his reaction, and his own failings as well, his own stumblings. I think Cure was able to capitalize on. I'm less certain that he would do that, or he would be able to accomplish that here against Classic, but we'll see. We shall see. Classic does move in. Also, welcome one and all to Blue Storm. Blue Storm is a very unique map, and I personally am very fond of Blue Storm as well. A lot of nostalgia on Blue Storm. But the natural base is actually on the low ground. There's a very narrow ramp coming into the natural here, which can be walled off with a singular pylon, for example. So very, very narrow entrance. Instead, we can gain access on the right-hand side with a ramp coming down into the natural. So it can be difficult to make a defense here. Not impossible, but difficult. Likewise, your third base also on the low ground. Low ground third base, low ground fourth. We have just so many layers of elevation here going further up and further up until this point. So some of these bases can be more difficult to maintain against earlier game aggression. Likewise though, we also have some room in the main base to drop. We do have a massive kind of alcove here in the main base we can make use of. We have a Reaper cliff, we have a nice drop space. We'll see if we can get there. Shall see. Likewise, we have destructible towers in the center. We have likewise more high ground as well in the center. Massive high ground. High ground matters that much more. We actually never got to speak about it. I guess it never really factored into any of these games so far, just because it had been a little bit faster. But high ground is even more important and even more valuable in StarCraft Evolution, just because there is a mischance. Attacking up a ramp, you do have a chance to miss. I think it's just under 50%. It's like 46% or something. Chance to miss. So high ground is more important, more valuable, more crucial. As we have our Twilight Council opener, standard opener here out of Classic, getting into Blink, I would imagine. I can also go into Charge, that's also a viable option. But we're expecting Blink. Okay, Blink is on the way. Oh, hello. You're going into a factory machine shop into a fast armory, and the armory does allow for fast Goliath production.
SCP good to go, sir.
Okay, interesting. We have seen Kiwian and maybe another Terran player as well. Whenever they play mech, they open up like Vulture and then they go into the armory, into the Goliath. This feels really early, but the purpose of that is to defend against like an Oracle opener, like a Stargate, if there was a Stargate opener. To defend against an Oracle, but this is early, so this is a little bit different. So a much earlier Goliath, and you can see he's getting in position to defend against Oracles, to defend against Skytos. Into factory, yep, into mech. Okay, so we are making it up. Again, makes sense just because of the setup for the Goliath. Of course, as we know, like the Goliaths, they were a little bit unnecessary just because there's no need for them. Because there's no Stargate. But Kira just playing very safe. Playing very safe here. As we have the Goliath upgrade. As the hallucination goes down. Robo's on the way. Clash is just enjoying his third base. Really expanding. Getting vision. There is an alleyway here that goes behind the third and can lead into the natural, so we can see Classic just getting vision of the alleyway. And Classic, he's played on Blue Storm before. He knows. He knows, baby. He knows. So the Forge on the way for +1. He's moving in. We'll take down the bunker. Bunker does fall. Nothing major yet. You see Kira just fully setting up his tanks. Just turtled up on 2 bases. With Blink, can we blink into the main? Can we reach? Okay, let's go for it. But he does get the 3rd CC, so he knows. He knows there's no 2 base all in. He sees the setup. There's no need for Classic to push into the tanks. Does see the oh, sorry, that was the siege. Oh no, sorry, that was the unsiege. Yeah, it does unsiege. And he will get a tank. Nice pickup. CranKy should be aware that something's wrong, but CranKy does not have any detection. He has no comsat station as he has no academy. That might also be a slip up. That is a mistake that some Terrans do make. Oh, sorry, it looks like he did have one. There we go. Oh, sorry, there it is. Academy is done. Now we have the comsat station on the way. Now he's getting his turrets. He knows that he needs that detection. He knows that there is an observer. Knows an observer. So he's getting ready for that. Oh, he scans. Doesn't quite catch the observer. SEL will drop into the main base. We spoke about this little alcove in the main. We did speak on it. Does distract. And again, all the Classic is doing is containing. Behind this, third base fully operational. Fourth base getting up and running as well. Like, Classic's just getting further ahead. It's getting further ahead. The pressure right now is on Cura to expand. Speaking of, he is moving out to expand. We see Classic rotating. The Observer does spot the expansion on the way, so he knows. So he blinks into the main. Remember, he can always recall. Can always recall back home. Clearing up those turrets. Blinking back out. And we're getting to Skytos. Jesus. Stargates all the way. I mean, hey, Classic is playing this out just like he plays SE2. Like, if he ever sees an opening, he will go into Skytos in PvT. Is his go-to. And anti-air is lacking for Cure. He's got mass tanks, mass tank Vulture. He does have a couple of Goliaths from the early game, but those are the only Goliaths he ever made. And Cure, he has gotten his third finally up and running. But Classic is still in control. Zelta to the middle line, they force some friendly fire. Oof. 3 SCVs going down, 4 SCVs even. Even catching one of the tanks. Storm is ready. As Classic does their extend. At the same time, those Zelsa drop into the main. Remember earlier, the turrets were cleaned up, going for a massive warp in, and Curious just being torn apart. And do we even get to see Skytos? Do we even get to see carriers? The fleet beacon is done, +1 is finishing up as well, but Cure, he is struggling here. Yeah, losing tanks, losing SCVs, losing everything. The army races back home. We can see Classic trying to set up. Headed for the middle line, coming in from that alleyway. We spoke earlier how Classic was so quick to wall up this area and to get vision, and Cure has nothing here. Oh, the storms! Oh, massive storms! No reaction out of Cure. 40 SCVs go down, insane damage. Ay, 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 and that's too much. There's no mining. There's nothing at the natural, nothing at the main base, nothing at the third. 0 income. Oof. As we're just now trying to resaturate that natural. Brutal losses here for Cure. We do have a minefield. We do have a minefield to work with at least. It's almost pure High Templar here, but he will storm the Vultures. Vultures get cleaned up. It was an expensive trade for a Classic as he did lose some of those High Templar. Plus 2 High Templar going down. But Classic is looking perfectly fine here. Still has the Observer in the bases. Still sees all. Curious down to 43 SCVs. His main army is quite robust. He's got a lot of tanks, and if he ever does fight head-on, like Cure, he can maybe take a fight if he's pre-sieged. But even then. And it looks like we will see the Skytos. So carriers are amassing. We have 2 more carriers on the way, getting to 5 in total. And remember, what shoots up? 2 Goliaths. This is the only anti-air outside of site defense, right? Outside of the turrets. So turrets and 2 Goliaths. That's all we got. That's all Cure has. As Classic is taking every base on the map. Skipping one over. Yep, scan reveals Skytoss. Now Kira knows Goliath production has begun. So nice scouts out of Kira, but at this point it should be too late. Because Classic is maxed. Classic is maxed out. He is distracted by the vultures. Carriers are revealed. And now Kira, now he understands, now he sees just how much Skytoss there is already. But Classic is taking his time. He's taking his time. He's been maxed for a while now. And he's allowing Kira to build up turrets, to build up Goliaths. He's allowing Kira to have defense. As he's making 6 Goliaths at a time. Now you could argue that like it doesn't really matter. Like Classic is far enough ahead where there is no rush. Goliaths are good. Are they that good? It's a good amount of Goliaths now. Remember, there were 2, now up to 15. Ooh, no detection. Where are the observers? There's 1 observer. Just recoil into the main. Recoils into the main base of the mothership. Going for the main, he's sending it. Goliaths, they try to respond. The Immortals, they hold their own. They shut down the Goliaths. And Classic is going for the kill. This is the kill move. Just going straight for the production. Straight for the heart of the Terran. Boys are being pulled. The Goliaths, it looks like they might get 1 carrier. Oh, not even the carrier does get away. And with that Prism, Classic can just keep reinforcing. There we go, 1 carrier goes down, but GG gets called. Classic will take the series 2-0, advancing on out of the group stage into the playoffs. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic as does claim the series. Again, he came in as the favorite player for the entire group, maybe even the favorite player for the entire tournament. So came in as a heavy hitter here, and Kira, he was able to hold his own somewhat. He had some moments here in game 1 and game 2, but overall Classic was looking a little bit more comfortable. I would say that game 1 was the closest up until that final fight, of course. We saw that Classic had a really bad fight pushing into a siege line, losing all of his High Templar, losing a lot of momentum. It allowed Kira to break out and take down bases, but if you remember, Kira, he was stuck on 3 expansions. Like, he didn't have a robust economy to sustain himself, so he was essentially all in. When he lost his army, that was game. That was game then and there. Here we saw that Kira, he was just playing it very slow, and he was stuck on 2 bases for a long time. Stuck on 2 bases, then stuck on 3 bases. He had a really hard time expanding. He had a really hard time breaking out. This is one of the downsides of this kind of style that Kira was going for. It's very immobile as well, and Classic was doing a great job at abusing that immobility. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we are nearing the end of the broadcast. We're nearing the end of the broadcast here. Let's catch up on the rest of the group. Let's catch up on those results as we can switch our scenes over and head on over here to the group where we do have our first matches wrapping up. We had Classic took down Homono 2-0, Kira took down Rumia 2-1, and then we had Classic advancing on to the playoffs over Cure. So GG well played. Classic does take down Cure, does advance on to the playoffs. And meanwhile, we have 2 series left. We have the elimination match between Honmono and Rumieth. We have a TVZ between those 2 players, and then the winner up against Cure in a best of 5, not a best of 3 decider match. So we have 2 series remaining here in the group. We are going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have the remainder of the group. We'll have Honmono versus Rumieth. Let's go. Until then, though, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys soon in a couple of minutes. See you soon. See you soon.